Hey guys, it's Jess, and I'm super excited to be sharing my very first project for the Trinity Stamps design team. I am going to be a video contributor over on their design team, so I'll be sharing frequent posts with you guys with inspiration using the new products from Trinity as they come out each month. So this time I'm actually featuring some brand new products from Trinity Stamps. These are going to be released on the 24th of January 2020. So this little cutie is from a new stamp full of monstrous cuteness. And I can't wait to share the full stamp set with you guys when it becomes available. But for now, you get this cute little sneak peek of what we're doing with this little monster. So I stamped him upside down on a piece of white cardstock using my Mini Misty. And then I stamped a second image of him using the Mini Misty again, except this time I stamped it onto some full sticky back post-it tape. If you guys are not new to my channel, you know that I use this stuff all the time, and I use it basically as a masking paper. So I stamp my image, cut it out with a pair of nice sharp scissors, and then I am able to go ahead and place that directly over my stamped image on my card so that I can protect it from any ink blending or scene building that I want to do on my background there. That way it will stay nice and crisp white until I'm ready to color it. Now, if you do want to do a lot with water or any sort of liquid, you are going to want to choose a different type of mask for your project, because these Post-its are made of paper. Even though they're adhesive on the back, they are not waterproof, so excessive amounts of water will damage the stamp underneath, or the paper underneath, I should say. So once I finish cutting out my mask, then I am ready to go ahead and place it directly over top of my stamped image. I am going to be doing some ink blending for my scene here, so I'm going to use this circle mask. Now this comes as a set of 4 stencils, which is part of the A2 Foundations circle set from Trinity as well. I will have links to all the products that I used in the description down below in case you want to check anything out or learn more about the products. But here I'm just using some Distress Oxides. I pulled out some tattered, no, Victorian velvet, I think. Yes, Victorian velvet and weathered wood for my first 2 colors. And then I'm also using some squeezed lemonade. Then I'm going to come in with black soot over top of most of these areas to kind of start pulling together an outer space sort of night galaxy sort of look. And I know what you're thinking. What is that? What in the heck are you creating? It does not look good. I promise. I know. Stick with me. These backgrounds always seem to look really awful before they look okay. So just keep with it. I know that this is not pretty, but somehow, magically, when you put the splatters onto it and when you add the white flecks to make the stars of your galaxy background, somehow it pulls it all together. All right, so my black soot in the Oxide wasn't as dark and opaque as I wanted it to be, which is kind of interesting because the Distress Oxides are usually more of an opaque finish, where the Distress inks kind of have more of a translucent effect. However, in this case, the black soot, for some reason, always seems to show up darker and more intense in the Distress Oxide for me. It might be because it doesn't have that chalky finish or something. I don't really know. But then I went ahead and used the Distress Sprayer. I just spritzed a little bit of it into my hand and then flicked that onto my card panel. Then I went ahead and soaked up the excess with a clean paper towel. Now you can see here I've put some gesso onto an acrylic block, and I spritzed that with water just a little bit to get it moving around. And I'm using a paintbrush to tap off some of the drops onto my background and then flicking it directly off of the block onto my background to kind of get more of that like shooting star sort of effect. And I always really like having both of those styles so that I can kind of make it look more interesting and they're not all exactly the same type of blob of star. All right, so you can see here that I've removed the mask or the mask of the stencil from my moon area. I'm making it look like my little monster, I'm going to call him an alien, but my little monster is kind of like hanging upside down or like, off of the moon. So I used some scattered straw distress oxide, and then I'm going back in with a little bit of that weathered wood, and then back over top of that with the scattered straw, just kind of making it look a little more varied and textured so that it's not just a plain and solid color. I felt like it needed a little bit something extra. All right, so now this is arguably the best part of making a scene card is removing the mask. So I'm just gently peeling that off. I like to use my scissors or like a scraper or poker tool, just something that can get under those edges and help you prevent like any smearing of inks or anything like that, and also helps you not rip the mask. That way you can reuse it on another card. All right, so I'm going to be doing some alcohol marker coloring for this little guy. It's not going to be anything fancy, and it's really not going to take me too long, but I'm going to pop a little bit of music on until I am done, and I'll put the color names that I'm using on the screen for you as well. I'll be right back with you once I'm done coloring. All right, so now that my little critter is all colored up and ready to go, I decided to stamp over my image one more time with several more times, with some black ink just to make those lines a little bit more crisp and dark. I felt like sometimes when you color, or especially if you've done like kind of a mixed media technique on the background where you've used like inks or splatters or things like that, your nice crisp lines of your stamped image can get a little muddy. So I like to stamp over top just to kind of redefine those black areas and make it look really nice and crisp. I decided I wanted to pair this cute little card with a fun sentiment to make this into a great Valentine's Day card for one of the dudes in your life, whether it's a kid or a grown-up, whatever. I think it's super cute. And I decided to heat emboss the sentiments, "You are my favorite," and "Even if you have cooties," from this super adorable stamp set from the new release called Love and Stuff Sentiments. And so I just heat embossed that on some black cardstock with white embossing powder. And now I'm just adding a little bit of detail to the moon. I felt like it needed a little something extra, but I literally had no idea what I was doing. I just sort of like scribbled some stuff on there and then put on some white gel pen accents and called it a day, you guys. It doesn't have to be fancy. No one is going to be inspecting your card for accuracy or anything like that. So as long as the general idea is conveyed, you are golden. Don't spend too much time thinking about all the details. I'm so guilty of that, but do as I say, not as I do. But yeah, you can do it. All right, so I'm using some foam tape from scrapbook.com. I used the 1/4 inch stuff here, but I wanted it a little thinner so that it didn't poke out of the sides of my sentiment strips. So I just cut it in half and peeled the backer right off, stuck it on, and that was that. I did go ahead and trim my card panel down, and you will see, unfortunately, unfortunately. When I go to do this bottom part, it actually ripped my card. I don't know if the card panel wasn't like 100% dry or what. Also, my blade for my trimmer is very dull, but I ended up having to trim off a bunch of excess stuff that I normally wouldn't have trimmed off, but no worries. I just made the little card front part to 3.75 by 5 instead of 4.25 by by 4 by 5.25. So I just increased the white space that's going to be around my card when I mount it to a card front. No big deal. It still looks super cute, and I actually like the way that it looks. All right, so I'm using some of the 1-inch foam tape from scrapbook.com to pop up my little panel, and here I'm going to mount it on a white A2 size card base. You can see the border's a little bit larger there, but I think it works out really well. I think he's super cute hanging from the moon like that. I don't know. I just think that's adorable. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. As I said, my blade for my trimmer is a little dull, so I'm using an X-Acto knife to get off some of those little frayed bits, but that's the card, you guys. Pretty easy and straightforward. A nice little scene card for Valentine's Day. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. When you like my videos or subscribe, it lets YouTube know that you like to see my content, and it helps suggest it to more people, so that really helps me, and I so appreciate it when you guys do that. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video really soon.